Hello everybody, welcome back to the channel. In this video, we'll be creating a color changing lamp, which are going to be featuring two components, a multicolor LED and photoresistors. We will also be utilizing the PWM features built into Arduino to help control the LEDs. This is our fourth video in this series. If you're interested in Arduino projects or learning the Arduino system, please check out our other videos as the links will be in the description below. Also, make sure and subscribe as more videos are coming very soon. Alright, so if you haven't signed up for Tinkercad, make sure and do so. The link will be in the description below. They have a circuits area right here which I've been using to create all of these different projects. It's a great virtual environment before you actually do a hands-on. That way if you have any problems, you do it on a virtual system rather than in real life. So the first thing I'm going to do is name this, and this one's project 4 for me. And it's a color changing lamp. So I'm going to bring out the Arduino, and I'm going to bring out the breadboard. That looks good. So you always start with the components, and I'm going to start with the LED first. This one's going to be on pin 12, so make sure and turn it. Here's on pin 12, and then we have our photoresistors, which are here. Now these are not going to reach, so I'm going to have to make a little connector to them. This one's on line 26, and I'm bridging them across, so make sure that you have terminal 2 here, and then terminal 1 I need to connect it to 26E, so I'm going to click here and then connect that. I'll bring another one out. This one's on 28. Do the same thing. And then the last one's on 30. And then same thing. So make sure that you do connect these. I'm going to change the color to these to blue. Okay. Next we have 6 resistors. 2 of them are 220. And you're bridging these across, so I'm just going to copy and paste these. The next ones are going to be 10K. And these are going to go to ground. So that's all for our components. The next thing we're going to do is do the wiring. So let's start with power. 5 volts to power, and then our ground. Make sure and color coordinate. Ground is black, power is red, and we're going to bridge power across, and I'm going to do that on line 4 because by default this is not connected to this power, so you need to bridge it across, and I'm going to do that with red. And I'm going to do the same thing down here. This is Y, so this is on line 26, 28, 30. Now I'll change all of those to red. Next thing we're going to do is connect the ground. So we have a ground right here, which is the cathode. This is cathode of our LED. Make sure that you're putting it on the right one. Black. And then we're going to connect our photoresistors to analog inputs. A0, I'm going to connect that here on C26. A1, C28, and A2 on C30. These are our analog inputs from our photoresistors, and then of course our outputs, PWM signals. So 9 is going to 15. I'm going to change this to yellow. 10 is going to go to 12. That's yellow. And then 11 It's going to go to 14. It's going to yellow. So if I start simulation, of course, nothing's going to happen because I still need to program it. But this is all we need to do for components. Next thing we do is we're going to code it. So click on code, change this to text. I'm going to delete this default code. And we're going to set up a couple of variables. In fact, we're going to have some constants. The constant, integer, green LED pin equals 9. Constant, int, red LED pin equals 11. Constant, int, blue LED pin equals 10. Next constant integer, red sensor pin equals a 0. Constant int, green sensor pin equals a 1. Constant integer, blue sensor pin equals a 2. And then we're going to declare our value. So integer red value equals 0. Integer green value equals 0. Integer blue value equals 0. Then we're going to declare our sensor value. So integer red sensor value equals 0. Integer green sensor value equals 0. Integer blue sensor value equals 0. So that's it for our variables. Next, we're going to go ahead and do our void setup. And we'll actually be using the serial monitor. So serial.begin. And we'll be doing this at 9600 bits per second. And then pin mode, green LED pin. Now you can see why we declare these variables. Output, pin mode, red LED pin. Output, and you guessed it, pin mode, blue LED pin. Output. And that's it for our void setup. Next is our main loop. In our main loop, we're going to get our read from the analog input from the photoresistors, right? And we're going to input into those sensor values. So let's go ahead and do that. Red sensor value equals analog read red sensor pin. So it's taking the red sensor pin value from A1 and it's putting that number into the red sensor value, and it's a raw number. And we want to delay 5, and we'll be doing that for the rest of them. So I'm just going to copy this and then change the values. I don't know if it's going to be faster for me to do that or to... Then I need to make sure that I update everything correctly. So we have green, blue, and then blue. So it's going to be taking those raw sensor values and inputting it into the variable. Next, serial print those values. So serial.print raw sensor values, serial.print red sensor value. And you know, I'm going to copy and paste. That's what I like to do, right? We got our red sensor value. We'll do green and blue. Paste matters. So we got our sensor print. We got our serial print. The raw value is high. It's like near 1,000. So we're actually going to divide it by 4 because the PWM signal is going to be between a number between 0 and 255. So when we divide it by 4, you know, the number will make more sense for PWM. So we do that by just going red value, red sensor value, or raw value, divided by 4, green value equals green sensor value divided by 4, and then blue value equals blue sensor value divided by 4. And then we're going to serial print that stuff. So serial.print. Oh, mistake. Let me fix that mistake right here. It's supposed to be line because it's going to be a new line. Okay, let me come back to this one. Serial print mapped sensor values. Serial.print red value. Okay. Remember to change them all. We have our red right here. This one's going to be green and blue. And this is supposed to be print line. That's why I kind of made the mistake earlier, copying and pasting. And this is lowercase. And this is lowercase. Small mistakes matter, but as soon as I hit start simulation, it will tell you that you're getting an error. And then of course, analog write. So analog write red LED pin red value. Analog write green LED pin green value. Analog write blue LED pin blue value. So this is pretty much it with the code. Now explaining exactly what's happening. This last part is what's actually going to be sent to the analog outputs to the LED. Before that, these raw values are being serial printed here and here. So if I start simulation, I have an error. And it says, okay, so my error was right here. It's supposed to be begin. And I have typos all the time. Make sure that you correct that. Okay, so I don't have any errors. I'm going to click serial monitor, and you can see the map sensor values. I made another mistake. Before we start simulation, let's go ahead and correct something really quick, because I don't need the map sensor values repeated all the time. And this is what happens when you copy and paste. Click on start simulation, and then we have our raw sensor values and our map sensor values. And right now it's on 13. So let me move this over so you can see what's happening with the photoresistors. So if I click on the photoresistor, I can actually adjust how much light is going in. And based off of that, it tells you the raw value and it tells you the map sensor value, what value is coming in here. And you can see that our LED is changing colors, and I could change it to different values. If I make it darker, I make this one brighter. So this is pretty much it for our color changing lamp. You can really build this thing, 3D print something really cool, and put the LED inside of it, and it would make a really cool little lamp. I hope you enjoyed this. Thanks for watching, everyone. If this video was helpful, make sure and leave a comment below. More videos are coming, so please subscribe, hit that like button, and I'll see you guys next time.